What's up, everybody? Give me a few minutes here. Been a while since I do one of these. There we go. I don't look so crazy. Been a little bit of time. We're gonna cover a few things here. I was gonna do a separate video just on card shows, but I'm just gonna talk that piece out. And then where'd my agenda go? Talk a little bit about repacks. What's up, Justin? Some of the scams going on with I guess you can call them vintage packs nowadays. If you guys haven't seen that, guy was getting bought a bunch of packs. They showed up all moldy, had black mold. It was disgusting. I mean, yeah, it's partly from the gum and the wax and stuff, but you guys seen probably about the HGA lawsuit. I saw a post on it earlier today on Twitter. I got tagged, and I seen Sports Card Radio did a video onto it, so I don't really need to double tap too much onto that. And then we're gonna have some new releases. We're finally gonna see a product that it's been like a year since it was supposed to be released. It's supposed to be out next week. What they call it, Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary, something like that. So we'll see how that works out. I know it's been a long time since we've done overtime. 5 straight weeks of shows kind of beat me down pretty good. So give everybody a few to come on here. We got about an hour worth tonight. What's up, Barney? How you doing? Yeah, I've done one of these in a long time. So we'll get back on the agenda with this stuff. I got no shows. I was going to go to Lexington tomorrow, but I've kind of like gone against it because still with the price of gas for me to go there, I would have to spend $1,000, find $1,000 in deals just because the price of gas. And I'm against it. So I'm going to get some stuff done this weekend. July 1st through the 5th, I'm taking a vacation. You guys might get to see some pictures of my magical prism unicorn floaty that I'm going to put in my backyard sprinkler. Yep, not going nowhere. Let's see here. That's pretty much it. Then I'll be set up two shows in July. So we'll get back to it all. All good out here. So HGA, I guess an employee. I don't know if they got served yet because the original post I read on Twitter, this guy, I guess is a lawyer or something, breaks down all the stuff, whether it's against like Topps, Panini, any of the companies out there, PSA, Beckett, HGA. And I guess they had a customer service rep that got some kind of classy title to where they were like hiring people. And from my understanding, when what was the guy that used to own it? Tyler or Taylor or whatever his name was. I think I paid $4.40 a gallon today. It's down from the $5, but still for me to drive Lexington back, it'll run me like $40. But that he basically told him, and I'm trying to think how I could put this without coming across wrong. Basically, he told him that he only wanted to hire like white, competent people, I guess would be the only way of saying it. And the guy was like, you can't do that. You have to hire the best qualified, which is true according to HR policy out there. With that, like if I say I wanted to hire, I start eXtreme something, card shop in Kentucky, whatever it may be. If I was to start hiring people for prestigious jobs, you have to have an interview sheet with points and all that stuff. And you're supposed to hire the best qualified person. Does that happen all the time? No. But from my understanding, he was making racial slurs, and it also dealt with let me get this right, LGBT community as well, too. He didn't want nobody was part of that into it. So it was pretty crazy. I'm kind of curious to see what HGA is going to post about that or respond back to that, because that's a crazy case. I mean, it's stuff like that there to where it can ruin you. And if it comes up that any of that stuff is found to be true, ooh, that's rough shape showing on too. Now, I know there's new ownership and they kept that other guy in there for, I don't know, a year or two just to watch things run. Man, $5 a gallon in Cleveland, $5 in Missouri. Woo! 5 in Connecticut too, huh? Yeah, ours was at 5. Now, I'm sure that if I ventured out of my little like podunk town to where the gas is a little bit cheaper, I'm guessing it's about 480 in Louisville right now. So that was my thoughts was, I'd have to drive, what is that, 100 and some miles there. I think it's 120 there and 120 back. So 240, 8 gallons of gas, it basically was going to come out to like $40. And that's me roughing the numbers. When I did the actual trip, it said it was going to cost me like $40.08. Let me get a little closer so I can read this. Oh man, it's really ugly because the guy breaks down the Twitter feed post. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'll give you the guy's name if you guys want to see it. I got tagged in it today. It's not him. I'm not seeing it now. I cannot remember the guy's name. Yeah, I'm not seeing who it was now. It was on Twitter originally this morning, but I was reading through what the guy was saying, and I mean, you pull up the images he has, the screenshots and everything. It's kind of funny because there's one point where somebody makes a comment like HGA has a big, long, last like terminology business name, and they purposely, I guess, misspelled international or something like that onto it. I'm one of them people, long as you're going to come in and perform, I'd have no problem hiring you. It's the point to where you got to read through people because a lot of times people will feed you in those interviews the answers you want to hear. And it's basically, when they say, "Oh, give me 5 references," come on, like I'm going to give you a reference, somebody's going to talk bad about me. To me, a lot of the hiring process, no matter which way you go, is a dog and pony show. But to disqualify somebody because of their race, their ethnic background, their choice if they want to be, straight or whatever, that is just wrong. But yeah, that could turn out to being a big thing if it comes out to all be true onto it. Because I guess the employee was, I want to say it said was let go, and what they rechanged it from fired to being let go. So I'd be kind of good onto it all. You really do, and I'm not gonna lie. There's people to pull the wool over your eyes too. It's really hard because you got to try to gauge people and stuff like that onto it. To me, that's why, like, if I was to open up something big and I had to have people work for me, I would probably ask people that I know that right off the bat to pull in, because then you're going to start up on the ground floor right. Man, so you guys didn't hear about that HGA thing today. Wow. Like I said, Sports Card Radio I did a video on it. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I've been doing some other stuff, but they do tremendous videos onto that stuff. So I'm sure they covered a lot of it with HGA. I saw it pop on my phone. I think it was either late afternoon, early evening tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's just wow. I really thought it was going to be for something totally different. And when I started reading through it all, it was pretty bad. Positivity to a point. I don't know, man. When I sit there and think about, like, I still think of the Jeff Wilson video where he's like, "Stop talking bad about the card community, blah, blah, blah. We all need to be positive." That burns me because the truth should be spoken, but, there's good and bad to go on out there all the time. It's the sad part is the bad is what everybody's going to get their eye attention to, and the good's not really there. To me, there's a lot of good points that came out. A lot of talks from these shows with people. The people that have been into cards for a very long time made a lot of good money off of Gary V's hype. And who was the other guy? Gary V, kind of Jeff Wilson, all those dudes, man. they made, man, look at my hat's all crooked on me. I don't even know how to fix it because I'm like trying to do it in the camera. I'm pretty weird looking tonight, but oh well, anyhow. But you know, the long story short onto it is people are wanting crazy cheap deals out there. It's just not going to happen from anybody that's still pocketing that money from COVID. And the people that came in for the wrong reasons as an investment that are probably having a sore spot right now, it's going to hurt. I mean, look at all those cards that were bought up that were high end, rare cards that became like fractionals and stuff like that, where you can fraction a card. That stuff's dipped. And the sad part is, if you had a whole bunch of the new investors come into that and say a smaller percentage are people that know long term, then they can get outvoted and you're going to take a loss. That's why I stayed away from all that stuff to begin with. It was basically, it had to be a certain percentage majority roll onto it. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure onto that. You know, sports, a lot of people are diehard fans. It just depends on the environment you're around. I mean, through the years, you know who you could joke around with and who you can't. But some people, man, they take that stuff to heart. They will come to fights over it on sports. It's bad. But yeah, just from the card shows, I'll tell you, a lot of them, man, if you weren't willing to drop to like 70% of an eBay sell price, you weren't selling nothing unless it was something nobody else had in there. And that's kind of where I fell into play with a lot of my sales, was nobody else had it in there. I might knock it down 5%, but other than that, I told them I'm hold it. I got no problem grading this card. And then it pretty much would sell right there off of that. But I mean, here's my point. What Acuna Tops updates, what are they, about $70, maybe 80 max, somewhere around there? I mean, look at, why would I sell one for $50 when I would be able to clear, like, we'll say it sells for 70, I'd get like 62 on eBay. That makes no sense to me at all onto it. It's same with a lot of the whatnot sales. Guys going, I don't know if it's because of popularity. Maybe they're not in the cards. Okay, I found this. What the heck? Stupid phone. But I don't know if they're not in for much. They just don't care too. But man, I can't see taking 60, 70% of what something's selling for and still losing 11% to whatnot. It's insane. Oh, Justin, I'm always buying hockey. And that was, you know, a few dealers at that big monster show in Indy that I talked to up there. That's a key thing, is that hockey, except for a very few cards, you know, we're really pumped up, like a Lemieux rookie, Gretzky rookie, McDavid, a little bit Crosby, a little bit Ovechkin, but the hockey market, it's just so much cheaper. I'd rather get into hockey than really anything right now. Soccer's still pretty good price too. What's up, TJ? But I'll just say, a lot of people come around. A lot of people actually do the channel. I was surprised by it. Most people just recognize the banner on a table, which, like I said, really shocked me, because the monster, I really wasn't taking anything like with me, but people knew who I was from just a YouTube. And then over in Newburgh, Louisville's shows, and even Lexington, a lot of people are like, yeah, I watch your videos. I was like, whoa, kind of makes sense. You know, a lot of people are like, hey, we get tired of watching people open up retail product all the time, and it's kind of nice to change the scene just to hear somebody's own thoughts and opinions on this stuff. It's good to get feedback from all different avenues, just not from like comments on YouTube and emails, but just to listen to what other people have to say it in person on this stuff too. But yeah, I'll tell you what, hockey, I have some hockey coming in this week, actually. I was able to get retail Series 2, but I have no idea who's in Series 2 yet. I know people are buying, but they're buying lower. So here's my thing. I don't think we're really at that plateau level yet. I think things are still going to drop more. That's, like I said, just my opinion. When I was showing that VCP chart, I think it was in that high-end card market. If you look at how the big bubble hit and how things are starting to gradually now come down to prices. So say a card was selling for 3,000, it bought that when it bottoms out and we're plateaued, it's at 4,000. It makes sense. It went up $1,000 in 2 or 3 years. I can get that. Doubling or tripling price? No, I don't get it. I still don't on some of it. But somebody made a comment to me about, it's sad that you could pull a Babe Ruth cut autograph, but yet you could pull a Mac Jones NT true RPA, and that Mac Jones NT RPA will sell more than Babe Ruth cut auto. And it just, it was just things like that. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't keep a Mac Jones NT. Not for the price that you're paying now per box. For example, my Mahomes NT RPA I've had, but I mean, I think the Chiefs were like a $160, $180 in breaks back then. It wasn't anything enormous. But I think it's going to start turning more after the National into a buyer's market, okay? I still think the National is going to be a mix of like hype videos along with trying to explain why there's not a lot of people there, et cetera, why this didn't happen, that didn't happen. I honestly believe that last year's National, I think it ranked number 2 on all the National attendances, is probably the biggest one we'll see in the next 5-10 years. Venue is always big, but I don't know. I'll be in Chicago next year for it, so we'll see how that turns out. I do. I've held it forever. It was the last Mahomes that I had that was autographed from his rookie year. And the only reason I kept it, and this is sad, is I sent it off to be graded, and I have this box that I throw stuff in to be graded into, and when it comes back, I just toss it back into it. And at a time frame, everybody was chasing Deshaun Watson, I think Todd Gurley, and somebody else that year. I forget. Well, I remember the Chiefs end up turning into a filler team with the Texans, and I hit them. I think it was like a 5 case break, but you had different teams per case type deal. And I know I had the Chiefs in 2 and the Texans in 1, but that's how I ended up getting it. Oh, that thing's not even here. That thing's been locked up for, oh gosh, 1.5 years now, easily. One day, probably maybe beginning of next year when I go back, because I got to do pictures and all this stuff for insurance purposes every beginning of the year. I'll try to do like a video up there of all the stuff. But yeah, I'll tell you, car shows really, really changed. I mean, people are hunting through value boxes like none other anymore. I don't know if it's due to some of the videos you see of people just going through saying value boxes, value boxes. I'm wondering where some of these people get the ideas, maybe because they watch, other people's videos. They're talking about value boxes, and then because they got a large platform, they push it out. Now everybody wants to do it. But unless you get to a show early and you find that 1, maybe 2 dealers that you can get through their value stuff quickly, by the time you circle that show, it's going to be hard. There's just so many people out there hunting that stuff now. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know, man. The Atlantic City venue it doesn't entice me at all. Chicago does, just because if I could talk to one of my buddies that are setting up and they give me a display, I could take a display of my Jordans and stuff up there. And I know I can get, money on Jordans because it's Chicago. It makes sense. But we'll see what happens with this stuff by then. I still think that, we in 2022, I think by the end of next year, we'll pretty much be kind of leveled out to where we need to be across all sports, all products, because then we start flipping the Fanatics thing involved. And that's why I said I think it's going to be a little bit longer, because it's going to depend on how Fanatics handles the Topps stuff next year. If Topps becomes still overproduced even more than it is now, I don't know if collectors are going to want to go back to the older products. And that's why I'm kind of in that gray area with it right now. I mean, there's been a lot of talk on, like, you'll see people asking questions like, hey, what Topps products don't you want to see, starting the Fanatics era? There's a bunch I wouldn't want to see anymore. But I don't know how many they have to bid on, that they have to put out per year, because you got like Bowman Sapphire, Bowman Light, Bowman this, and then it goes to Bowman Chrome, to Bowman's Best, to Bowman Draft. And then you got all them sub products of each one too, different variations. And that's why I did the Prism thing. I was going to do Bowman, but Bowman blew my mind. I just stopped. I would have went insane trying to do the Bowman parallels. Prism got me pretty good. But it just gives you an idea of how much stuff is produced, and the rarity of stuff just isn't there anymore. Like where a zebra was like a case hit before, and now you're getting all these different colors, zebras, green and orange and everything else out there. It just don't make sense. And even with I can't remember the guy's name who just took over for I can picture it in my head right now. For Luber. I can't even think of his name right now. I don't think, when you pitch me that, it's about family and you have kids to collect, to me, that's a cheap PR stunt. I just don't buy it. When you get into them businesses, it's all about money, 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 money. You got to make earnings, especially if you got, holders and stuff like that into your company. All they want to do is see profits. They do, TJ, a lot. They've really changed a lot. You got shimmers, lavas, and they're every color again. Shimmers, lavas, and waves. So like where there's 10 colors, you got to figure there's probably 10 for lava, 10 for shimmer, 10 for wave. And then you got that one, it's like Papa Shango or something like that. I can't remember. It's a different one there. I mean, even Dynasty had a little bit more production onto it. And that's why, like a year and a half ago, I said I was just sticking with hobby-only products. If they made retail, I'm out. Upper Deck, different story, because their stuff's pretty widespread. Well, a lot of the sticker autos, from my understanding, was due to COVID restrictions, which I got during that time frame. I really do. I don't see why they couldn't have the guy do on card and do something like Zoom, where you're sitting there watching them autograph the cards in front of you. You didn't have to have a representative there. You just have somebody from, that organization watching them autograph cards, and you're good. Oh, yeah, RPAs were always the big thing. I mean, I was just sitting there thinking, I was finding these Elite Series cards out like 10,000, 1,500 and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's just crazy. Just imagine how much they produce, because a lot of these Elite Series were case hits. It just shows how much product was pushed out even back in the day. And when we flooded it, well, I should say they flooded it, we bought into it. It killed it for a while. And, it's all the guessing game. New product comes out. Do you want to buy it? Because in 10 to 15 years, is everybody going to want that product? Because it was the first one out. I'm out in Kentucky. I'm about 45 minutes south of Louisville. I'll be set up at the Derby City show on the 9th in Louisville. And then J&J, the guy that ran the Monster, he has a show the 23rd in Louisville. I'll do that one too. I mean, honestly, what I'm bringing anymore is going to be down to one showcase and a bunch of value boxes and wax. I didn't even know they did Star Wars Sapphire, to be honest. That's insane. I can imagine, just like when F1 came out, just the hype with the Sapphire, what that's done. Yeah, just for me right now, for the next 2 years, I've been getting cards that I want to hold for 2 years. Anything else that I don't see that makes sense in a minimum of 2 years, I am just selling right off the bat. I am, Teddy. I am. Just me tonight. Joey had some kind of birthday party or something to go to. I forget which one. Oh, man. Hey, I'm not going to lie. eBay has been my best friend the past month. I could put anything up there, undershoot at $5-10 as buy it nows on cards, and they sell. I'm not really into Star Wars at all. I never was. Marvel, I'm trying to, but there's just a lot to learn with it. I did buy a Marvel PMG somewhere around here. Just to have a PMG of Marvel. I think I got it for like $15 or something like that. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but it's just for me to start figuring this stuff out. Oh, I agree, Teddy Goach, definitely. I would say anything fives on, and up on vintage, you're fine with. I mean, when you start going really older, like the tobacco cards, 1.5, 2 is just, the scarcity anyhow of them. I picked a few things up off of eBay. That Hank Aaron cut auto was one. I think I picked another Hank Aaron auto up on there. It's just been odd stuff that I've been grabbing off the bat. Me, I mean, one-on-ones to an extent. There's a lot of one-on-ones and products anymore. But when I start looking like, okay, get this one. You know how many logo men are printed every year? And NFL shields, it's insane. But if you go look at like bat knobs and bat barrels and cut autographs, it's like a smaller chunk change. So I've been chasing stuff like that. I'm not like trying to go get the one-on-one paper of, I don't know, like Jason Dominguez or something like that. It makes no sense to me. I have something on order that it's never come out. I think it's like a year in due too. Something called like Bounty Hunters from Star Wars. It still never came out. I don't even know where it's at on my. Let me see if I see it on my list here. Maybe it came out and I just no longer have it on here, or they scrapped it completely. Yeah. Oh, wow. WNBA Prism, one box again. That's new. Yeah, I haven't seen the Bounty Hunters. Like next week, I got that Platinum Anniversary coming in. 4 hobby, 3 lights, 3 retails of Upper Deck Series 2 hockey, and 1 museum UEFA Champions League. So you guys will probably get a video of definitely the soccer. Because then the following week, it's Stadium Club Baseball and Bundesliga, Topps Chrome. Pristine Baseball, middle of July. Looks like Tier 1 end of the month. And finally, Garbage Pail Kids Series 2. I mean, those have been pushed way out a year, but it'll go further. Just looking here. I don't see anything else that's really different. Allen and Ginter. Look at this 21-22 Peachy Platinum Hockey Blasters all the way out to September now. That was supposed to be out like 8 months ago. Let me flip back over. Oh man, Teddy, I've been looking at these repacks. I can't tell you how many of the last like 2 to 3 years of product, the PSA 9s and 10s that are high populated are in there. I mean, they'll throw so many chase cards in there. And the thing is, you don't know what the checklist is, for one. Two, they don't tell you, half of them don't tell you how much of the packs they made. And then you start looking like, does it really make sense to buy into this stuff and get this? And then what are you going to do with it? Put it on eBay? That's about it. But that's a new way people have found a way of dumping this stuff. I've seen so many boxes up at the Monster that had slabs in it at discount prices. Man, I could see them doing it to a point with some of the products, but not all of them. I think still with products like Dynasty, Tribute, the bigger high end, you're going to see your like Sandbergs, Boggs, Ripken. Well, Ripken's in about everything. I'm trying to see who else and stuff like that. There, Eckersley's, with it out there. It's just that if you remember, like Boggs and Sandberg autographs before the hype, what are they, about 30-40 bucks maybe? And then they bumped up to about 150. And I think they're still, depending on the product, if it's a premium, like say, what was that stuff that just come out? Top Sterling. I think those are still somewhere in the neighborhood of about 80 to 100 bucks. Oh, a lot of that stuff is. I've been looking over a lot of the stuff that's coming out, and I don't know. And see the way I keep hearing with this tops allocation, the way it's going to go. I mean, my account's going to end up just going bye-byes anyhow. So if I had to buy product, it's going to be very scarce on what I buy into. It's going to be hobby only. Oh, they always do. That's a big football thing there. Look at Contenders and Prism and stuff, Prism Draft, all that. They always do. I mean, if you look at the NBA draft last night, I mean, I don't know the players. I just know that, what was his name, Chet, like Holmgren or something like that. That was a guy I liked to begin with. Do I think he's going to be like the next super stud out there? Probably not. But, he might be the guy from that rookie class. That's about it. Allocations. It's just funny onto it. If I was still a breaker, I bet you I'd be pretty much pissed about it, but I'm not. So, I mean, it's going to drive a lot of people away. At the same time frame, I don't know how much it's going to push prices up even more. So we're going to use, for example, say allocations only given to brick and mortars, and they use their website. So we'll just say a box comes out at $199.95. People are going to want to buy the box and make money. And that's why when Fanatics first starts, I probably won't buy into anything, because it's going to be bought out quickly onto it all. And then what will happen is people want $50 more box, $100 more box. So I think either way, it's going to be screwy with or without allocations out there. I see a lot of breakers are going to have issues. I mean, first with Tops, then with Panini. I mean, what are they going to be out there breaking after that? They're not, most of them are not brick and mortar. It's some product, yes, TJ, but not all. Like Platinum Anniversary selling for like $199 a box. I think I'm in it for like $140. It's not a big markup. It now, like when NT, oh gosh, before NT they spiked the prices up. I think we were paying like 250 on a $400 box, and then it went up to like 350, and then they were selling for like 1,000 to 1,500 a box. I think now they're around 600 to 800 if you get them allocated to you before release. And they're selling what, 4, 5, 6,000, but you're not getting the allocation you used to. I mean, guys back in the day could get 20, 30, 40 cases of NT. Now those guys that are doing all them breaks with all that money are lucky to get 5, maybe 10 cases tops from one distributor. What happened was there were just too many dudes who went out there and got the licenses and became breakers. Yeah, but that's the only thing is, so think about this, Teddy. They lower prices onto it, and then you're going to get people who want to flip it at double and triple price. I think it's going to be one of them double-edged swords for the next year or two, to where I probably myself, after this year with tops, I probably won't touch baseball unless like it's something I can get a hold of in a full case that makes sense. And then I sit there and think about maybe buying Upper Deck Hockey and just buying it at price, or buying it, ahead of time and getting like my 5% off through one of my members things. And that's like going through an Upper Deck Diamond dealer type deal, where they're giving to you like 5% under what they're wanting everybody else to pay for it. Teddy, it's going to take a while to get rid of them all. It really will, especially the ones with bigger followings, to the point that we'll just say they get 1 million views a month. We'll use an average of $7 per 1,000. I mean, they're getting $7,000 a month just off their videos. Why would they quit? $7,000 a month's a lot of money just for putting out, hey, these are the cards that are going up now. These are my picks for the week, stuff like that. I think it's going to die back down to, we'll probably still a few of them that'll linger for a long time, but I give it to the beginning of 2024, it'll be completely changed. But like all the time, it always changes on us. I can tell you is when I was a breaker, man, we always had to overcome and adapt. And I think that's one reason why me and my rep at that time got along so well, is halftime I just didn't get upset. I was just so used to always having changes due to the Army. Last minute this, last minute. I'm like, whatever. Sometimes I might throw a connection film. I'm like, dude, it's like 4 weeks straight. And then they would overnight me the product or something, which I hated doing, but it made sense. All right. So I'll explain the thing on money for YouTube. So say for the month of June, we're almost closed out. If you got 1 million organic views, that means you didn't buy viewers and all this other stuff, right? 1 million. 1 million people watched your videos. It could be any time frame, but during the month of June, but any video that you put out in the last, since you started a channel at 1 million. All right. So divide that by 1,000. So basically 1,000 would turn into 1,000 type deal. 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. So 1,000. For every 1,000 views, they get $7. So 1,000 times 7 is 7,000, roughly what they make. Now that's not without like them doing like, hey, everybody donates $1 tonight in my chat, I'll put you in for a giveaway type deal. Stuff like that I've seen done. No, far from it. Far from it. I wish. Here's the thing is with this, okay, YouTube videos can be very, very profiting, especially there's guys that will promote anything on their channel and they get paid for doing that. I turned a lot down. A lot of you guys know some of the ones because I busted them out on here originally, but I just don't like promoting people's stuff that I don't really like or believe into, or, I just don't have a good feeling on to it. I mean, do I like cardboard gold? I do, but Do I like my slabs? I do, but I never asked them for a dime to talk about their product. And the thing is, if you take money onto somebody's product, you're kind of linked to it, and you kind of have to talk good about it. I like to be able to talk freely. He might. He still got to pay. He took that loan out. I remember somebody showed a clip of it. I think it was like 2.5 million, something like that. Now, here's the thing. You could go out there and do videos and other stuff. This is no joke. Go on YouTube and look up Raccoon Whisperer. This old dude lives in Canada, okay? And he feeds raccoon on his porch. He gives them like, I forget what it, all kind of like different treats on his porch, like Oreo cookies and stuff. This dude gets like 20 million views a month. So take 20 or not, I think it's like 10 million views a month. So take 10,000 times $7. He's making 70 grand a month to feed raccoon on his porch. People watch that stuff. If you could find something like that, golden. I joked around with the girl I dated a while back, and she had like all these farming. I was like, dude, you should just go out there and tape being on the farm. I mean, people like that stuff. But I mean, you can make a good bit of money if you just find the right thing. You don't have to have good equipment, nothing. See, I'm not the only person that finds stuff like that on YouTube. Raccoon Whisperer, I think he's called. I mean, it's just insane. And it's, you just watch and you're like, wow, this dude's, and these raccoon are all climbing all over him. And oh man, the grapes, what, there was grapes, cookies, hot dogs. He feeds them hot dogs too. I think it'll take a lot for them to go away, Justin, a lot. Oh man, yeah. I mean, look at the guys that do these random Nautica. You guys know what random Nautica is? It's an app. So basically, you guys remember a geocache or that geocache thing? We go out there, find these points. You might sign a piece of paper or go see something cool. Well, they took that into this thing called Randonautica, where you like think of something like some kind of a thing in your head, like I want to see death, and it takes you something where it shows you death. Well, guys are out there doing this stuff, and you could tell that they're planting stuff out there all the time. But I mean, those dudes are making probably 10, 15,000 a month off those videos. But yeah, I mean, it's just crazy stuff like that. There's a dude that hatches eggs of like chicken eggs and ostrich eggs and all this stuff and emu eggs. Dude makes buco off his show. Now, granted, he's got to put a lot of that back in to feed the animals and all that other stuff. But I mean, 1 month probably covers at least a year to 2 years of his feed and everything out there. Yeah, yeah. That, originally it was so you could get yourself out there to get people to come to your channel to basically you it's kind of like promoting yourself in a way. Um Content creator Illuminati. I like it. Hey, I used to hunt ginseng when I was a kid, all through Pennsylvania, Chris. And then man, we always go on tangents here, don't we? But I remember I came back on recruiting duty beginning of like 2000, and I was going all over. So a guy that was a recruiter with me, big hunter, was like, "Hey, you gotta go to this park. It's up in West Virginia." It was like border Pennsylvania, West Virginia, like the northern tip of West Virginia, not like deep down south where the moonshine's at and stuff. And we walked all day, couldn't find anything. I found a whole hillside of that stuff. I filled my rucksack up twice. I have in the past. I mean, it's a flip of the coin. Uh, if it's like an SGC 9.5, to get a PSA 10, you got a low percentage chance, or very low. If the corners have no whiting on it and your surface flaws are very minimum, and it might be that maybe SGC was a little bit harder on centering on the back, where PSA more is lenient on the back, you might be able to get it. I'm gonna start doing videos is me out walking, doing my walks, my little nature walks this summer. So you guys will get some flicks of that. Maybe we'll do something stupid, do a Randonautica and see if I get chased by like an evil hacksaw man or, you know, evil Shrek out in the woods. That'd be crazy if it really happened. It would depend on why it got a 9. Without seeing the card and looking it over, I could tell you I knew cards would get a PSA 8 and I sent them over to SGC and they got 9.5s. So they were more lenient on surface stuff than anything. I can tell you that. As far as what I've learned from SGC when I was grading with them, if it was a surface like little dimple or what we call printer lines and stuff, oh, they were real lenient on that stuff. I will say, though, if you're trying to crack an HGA slab, don't do it, because a lot of people have been cracking them and getting way lower grades lately. But yeah, I mean, just back to the YouTube channel thing. If you go out there and record videos and throw them on YouTube, eventually it might catch. You never know. Some of the craziest thing catches. There's these two dudes that I know two, actually three. All they do is go to the casino and tape themselves playing slot machines. The one guy, I would say he's like the Mr. Beast of the gambling with the casino thing going on. He doesn't make Mr. Beast money, but he makes crazy money just to go out do the casinos. Another guy, I was showing my mom this. She was like, "Are you playing the slots online?" I'm like, "No, I'm watching this guy play the slots." And it's just crazy. I mean, he's getting like 20 million, 15 million, 10 million views a month. It rotates around, but he's been doing it for 9 years too. And when you're talking, you know, if you get 10 million views, so that's what, 10,000 times 7. I mean, that's good money a month. It might be more or less because your money depends on like the country your views are coming from and all this other stuff. You could get as low as like $4, you know, per 1,000. You can get as high as 10, I've heard. But SGC, I'll tell you, is a little tougher to crack than most. Just if you do crack it, be very careful, because you don't want to put pressure on the middle of that case to where it snaps, because then you're going to screw that card up. What I've learned is take your time when you're cracking. I crack the like if the card's laying like flat here in front of me, I'll take the upper right hand corner and I cut like this little square into it. Then what I do is I put my hand over, well, towel into my hand, because you don't want something to come up and slice your hand. And I just take a small screwdriver. I mean, like I start off with the you know, little sets you can get for like eyeglasses and stuff like that. I get one of them and I start working it, and then I'll get a little bit thicker of a screwdriver and I'll just start popping it the whole way around. But where some of these guys crack it in like 30 seconds, that's not me. I take about 3 to 5 minutes to crack a slab. I'm scared crapless. But I see some crazy stuff with HGA coming out. Crazy. I mean, some of the like subgrades don't add up, and it makes you just wonder how they do their stuff. But, you know, SGC back in the day used to have a point system, which I think they still use now to give that overall grade. But if you guys remember before, you used to get like 100, 96s, 92s, 90s, 88s, all that stuff. That was all based off their point system back in the day. I like that for especially when you start dealing vintage. And don't get me wrong, I'll still buy SGC vintage all day long. I think that they had one of the best reputations on vintage around. There's another card company coming out, or a grading company coming out. Man, I'm trying to remember. Was it called Tag or something like that? And I caught a glimpse of the actual company, and it looks like they're saying computer AI is doing the whole thing, but you still have to have a man behind, a person, I should say, behind it, doing the work. I still would love to be able to go to PSA and for somebody to sit me down with them and show me how Genomit works. I understand that you scan the card in and all that stuff, but what all it actually is able to do and why the graders aren't able to use what they find on it. Like it should be a quick thing for them to knock out centering onto it. So when it comes to the grader, they shouldn't have to worry about centering. Okay. Now all of a sudden it's corner edges and surface. And if they use that infrared like highlighting thing, you can see some of the stuff on the surface and just determine is it dust, is it this or that. I watched 2 movies this week. Hustle with Adam Sandler. That was funny. And then I just watched, oh crud. I cannot even think of the name of the movie today. It just came out on Netflix. It had like Woody Allen in it, and so I remember one of the guys in it that played a villain used to be a big YouTuber on here for a while. It did. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it did. Because you always had everybody certifying everything. Oh, we're the only people who can get like this team's autographs and stuff. I miss the old shows. I really do. I don't think we're ever going to see box prices go back down to where they were. I think we'll see them drop eventually, but not to the crazy lows. I think NT will still end up, if they still do NT in 2 years, I think that's still going to be a product you're going to pay probably $1,500 a box on easy. But I think a lot's going to depend on how Fanatics handles all this with them getting all these licenses. Are they going to buy Panini out to where they could use the Panini products they put out? But at least we know where we're standing right now, kind of with Topps. Oh, it came out yesterday. Okay. Yeah, I can't remember who all was in it. I mean, I watched it today, but it just shows you I've been just doing so much other stuff. I sit there and start catching the movie, and it's just like, wow. Then I start rewatching, or I try to rewatch some TV series. As in, I was watching that one. It's called like The 100 or something like that again. That was a crazy TV series. I'll have to take a look at that, especially with taking off next Friday through Tuesday. Especially if we got a rain day, I'll be bored out of my mind. Oh, something just exploded over here. Let me see what this is. Oh, I keep getting stuff all about these new gun laws or things that aren't passed and they're trying to pass. I'm kind of wondering the same thing onto it. Is it going to be something like, the old days, Fleer Ultra, stuff like that, or we can go way back in the day to, go Gaudy and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I think though, if somebody talks about it and they know how to push it properly, it gets spikes. That's just the easiest way. Some of the upper deck basketball did. Like, and most of it just due to that's where you could only find like LeBron and Jordan autographs in. That stuff still commands a decent amount of money. Well, Panini won't survive out there. They may be able to push out product, but I just don't know how they're going to do it. Yeah, Ultimate, definitely exquisite. Even like when you start going like Sign of the Times with SP Authentic, stuff like that's done well over time, especially exquisite. My goodness. I remember when I first saw Exquisite come out, I was like, who the heck's going to pay this amount of money? And then about 3-4 years later, here I am buying Exquisite. Well, Upper Deck also had a bunch of products too. Topps Chrome, you limited just to the regular, that one product from Topps. I mean, if you go with Topps Chrome, which was considered more of one of the higher end products for Topps, and you throw it up against like SP Authentic, yeah. But then again, it was Topps Chrome. That's what everybody liked back then. Exquisite didn't start really pushing out crazy numbers for a long time. Same with like Black Diamond, Upper Deck Black. I'm trying to remember some of the products. Letterman, that once they lost their NBA and it was just college stuff, Letterman, stuff like that. Still cool products. I mean, Topps just had a long history. That's one thing. If you really look back then, what Topps produced for cards, like the very few Topps brands that were out there, then you had Bowman with it. But then, like during LeBron's rookie year, you still had Fleer out there that was doing their stuff. Upper Deck was doing their stuff. I'm missing one. There was another one too. I know it. I think Upper Deck at that time frame bought out Skybox. I don't have any on the side here. I'd look because everybody started buying out each of these little companies that were doing stuff. You got to remember, like Don Russ bought out, what was it? Don Russ bought out Leaf or something. I can't remember the whole story. It's been too long. But don't get me wrong. I mean, Upper Deck put out some great product. I mean, when they started in '89 with Upper Deck Baseball, they re-engineered the whole thing. Cards changed completely because of that, especially in 90 and 91. You kept going forward because then you had where Fleer was your paper, they had to come out. Remember, Fleer Ultra came out, it started being shiny. Then you started having more shinies like Stadium Club, stuff like that with the glossy, they called it. But you got to remember, though, glossy was kind of around even in the 80s with the Tiffany's and stuff. But Upper Deck with their photos and stuff's really what really changed a lot of it, too. Yeah, Don Russ and Leaf. I don't have it here. Wait, it might be in this pile. Let me look. So 87 Don Russ, if you remember, I can't show it. If you look on the back, Don Russ was Leaf Incorporated by the copyright. mean, a lot of people are getting hyped up because Topps was starting to do all this stuff with Bowman U and what was it called? Yeah, it's overtime. I mean, you're hitting other areas nobody's touched. Now you're trying to think, is this going to be considered what we used to call an XRC rookie? Is it what, Oh, I'm still a fan of Upper Deck stuff. It's just a shame that their printing sucked in hockey this last year. Like a lot of product didn't come out. And even this year, I don't think they're pushing a lot of product out. They're trying to make a comeback, but man, their stuff just to me is just I don't like the look of it. Leaf metal draft. The one product I liked back in a while when it came out was Trinity. They had cool patches into it, but it's going to take a lot for them to make a big turnaround. You guys did see that new scam floating around where people are telling people to, hey, can you call PayPal up and tell them you got the card already because they're holding my money and I need to do this or that. Don't do that. Just say, hey, I can't today. Sorry, dude. And they're getting mailed like, not the card, an empty package, whatever it may be. Man, I see some crazy stuff with Leaf and some of the dudes that work at Leaf. And conspiracy theory or not, man, some of them dudes have some high, low end produced Leaf cards that work there. It makes me wonder. I think I heard Leaf, you're not allowed now if you work there to buy the product from Leaf or whatever it is, something like that. I don't know. Plus, it's just funny when you start looking how many tens they got for Beckett. But then again, you got one of the big conspiracies with the guy from Beckett used to work there, getting all them black labels and stuff. Craziness. Well, still not bad for a Curry auto. See, when I look at like Leaf stuff like that, there, I'll go look at like what do they call it, like a photo autographed of Curry's going for and stuff like that, and try to just base it off what an autograph is. Maybe they make a big turnaround down the road. I have no idea. Maybe he's been sitting back laughing this whole time frame that with all the stuff that went on Topps and Fanatics and Panini. He's like, I'm going to capitalize now, but hopefully he doesn't have any more Giannis situations going forward. That's crazy. Oh man, that's been going on in every company for years. Cards that weren't supposed to make it out to the public made it out. Rare errors. Oh, the 90s Leaf stuff? Yeah. That's the thing. If you're buying it because you like it and it's for yourself, that's always a good thing. But if you're liking it because you're hoping that's going to go up to being like a $5,000 card to flip, that's where a lot of bad things could come out at too. You know what's funny is I just talked about Pokemon, Shannon, and how much there hasn't really been like a new series of Pokemon come out in a while now. I mean, they've had a lot of like these lunch pails and stuff with like old like packs that already been circulated out in ETBs, like Evolving Skies and all that. but nothing really new. That's why like I said, during was about August, September 2020 during the hype, I was just getting rid of a lot. I'd pick up stuff that nobody was thinking about down on the down low. And I mean, I was just holding and holding and holding. What I have here at the house is probably like 20-25% of what I normally had here. Easily. Now, my safety deposit box I don't include because that's not here with me, but I gotten rid of a lot. And my idea is eventually, I'll rebuy it at a lower cost if I still like the card down the road. Not that I know of with Giannis. It might have. It's just nothing that's really broken big news onto it. I just found a weird Pokemon card. Let's see if I find it. I think it's over here. I didn't even know it was. I don't know if you guys can see it. What's this called? A Tyranitar? You didn't realize it's like a $60, $70 card. I've been using that app, taking pictures of stuff and sending it to DC just to get rid of it that I've had here. It was over $5. It was gone. I got some of that stuff locked up now. There's been times where I've ordered like 2 cases of Pokemon. One I'll either break or I'll sell some of it out and open whatever's left at the end. But the other bit I've been holding sealed cases. I mean, you can't go wrong with holding Pokemon, especially you got to think if they're selling it like say $40 MSRP in Walmart, I'm probably getting them at like $25, $26, $27 a box. And when you're talking, was it I think 8 or 10 ETBs in a box? It's not a whole lot. But I mean, it's not a whole lot of money you have invested in. It's like basically a box of, Bowman for a whole case of Pokemon. Yeah, I didn't even realize what it was, to be honest. Yeah, see, my Pokemon, it all started because I had guys that always wanted Pokemon, and I started putting in for it. They'd come in and they just buy it straight off the bat from me. MSRP. They didn't want to go to Walmart and buy it and all that other stuff. And there was a lot of stuff that I was getting at like Walmart would be sold out quickly of. And then during the whole COVID thing, people just wanted Pokemon. And as soon as I get in, like, hey, got this in, whatever you guys want, first come, first serve type deal. I mean, I'd have guys, I'm on my way now. But hold up, got somebody in their way. And sometimes, it'd be a group of 2 or 3 guys. They just want to split it all between them. Like, hey, just come here, buy it all. You all figure out how you all going to divide it up. Yeah, I mean, you could find a lot of collections out there. I'd probably say 3-4 times a year at shows, I'll have somebody that wants to sell a collection. And they'll go around all these guys set up and they'll tell them what they got and they'll throw out some kind of low offer onto it. And I'll be honest with them, like, I got to see the cards in the condition, but I got no problem if they're in good condition to where I'm going to put money in them and grade them. I don't mind doing, 80% of whatever they're selling for. But that's also me judging at the grading onto them and all that. I mean, there's sometimes I just got people call me up and I'm like, what do you got? And it's like a bunch of like 88 tops and stuff like that there. And I'm like, I'll send to my other guy that I know. He does sports lots and he loves that stuff. Oh, it really is. Now, like for me, occasionally what I used to do is I'd set X amount of dollars aside. So when Definitive, Dynasty, Diamond Icon, stuff like that was coming out, I'd get into serial number breaks and just take wild stabs at it. Sometimes I'd hit a hot streak, sometimes I didn't. But the good thing was my hot streaks at the time frame outweighed my losses, so I was making money, especially grading it out. But now you can't do that because the prices on stuff's not realistic. What's up, Granddad? You should be getting ready to come back to the States here shortly. Oh man, when everybody started wanting all these junk boxes, I had a case of 87 Tops, the vending boxes, okay? And I want it in a Raz. I want to say it's something stupid. I had like $20 maybe in it. The guy offered me $40 per vending box and he'd come pick it up. And I'm like, it's a steel case. He's like, I don't care. I'll take it all. But I said, I got other stuff here if you're interested. And I just pulled it all out, had in my garage. He took every last thing. And he gave me what they was selling for at the time frame. I was surprised. That's going to cut him a deal. He was over there on his phone adding it all up. And it was just funny because he throws a number out. I'm like, well, that's way higher than I was going to ask. But all right, if that's what you want to pay, go for it. But I think I unloaded, I'm going to guess close to 100, 120 junk wax error boxes. Because for a while there, I was doing like this like throwback Thursday type junk wax opening on a channel just to open up something. And then all that stuff skyrocketed. I mean, I held on to like my 89 score football boxes. I have a couple 84 Topses, 82 Tops baseball, stuff like that there. 80, I think I have an 85 Fleer. Yeah, 85 Fleer box and stuff like that I held on to. Oh, it's next year. Okay. For some reason, I thought you were coming back later this year, a couple months. I was wrong. 3-year tour out there, man. I'll tell you what. I would be going nuts over Bagogi out there. I used to, but not anymore. It was just a lot of scams out there. Ugh, it was just bad. I did do offer up until that got discovered and Facebook marketplaces I would search. But it's hard now. Now it's basically for me to get that stuff, it's because of word of mouth. So somebody who I've done business with, say, bought a collection, or I helped them find a way to sell their collection to maximize their money, or maybe I helped grade some stuff for them. They'll know somebody has stuff like, hey, you need to talk to this guy here before you talk to anybody else. And that's how I basically find this stuff now. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. All right, Justin. Have a good one, man. Man, see, the thing is, like with the last 2, maybe 3 years, a lot of the stuff on Facebook is so fraudulent that you can see right through it. Their reprint cards they're trying to pass off, their fake autos, you name it. And that's why I moved away from it all. And now occasionally I get them phone calls. You buying collections? And the newest thing now is, I guess everybody knows I do this grading stuff. I've been getting a ton of people like wanting me to grade their cards for them and stuff. I mean, I can't grade them. I can tell you what's wrong with them. I hate telling people like, it'd probably get this or this, and then it comes back even lower because I missed something. I just say, this is what I found on the card. And, hopefully they could, figure out on grade wise on it. But yeah, I'm really skeptical on to now. A lot of stuff that I've been like, the one guy out in Indiana, he had like a lot of 84, well, actually like 80 through 89, about 87 stuff, mostly football. His collection was nice. It was all in sheets and stuff like that. But stuff like that there is a rare thing to find. I mean, when you start looking, you got like a page of Jerry Rice rookies, and all of them are badly off centered because the green edge is or the green card border. There are a lot of edges and corner issues with it. Yeah, see, I don't want to be like a group submitter. I don't mind looking at your cards, telling you what's wrong with them and stuff. I do have people like I have their account with PSA. I mail it off for them after I look at them and stuff. Or, they might say, hey, just send my stuff to DC and just let me know what I owe you. But I've known these guys for, oh gosh, 10 plus years. I'll be honest. I mean, some people just don't have an eye when it comes to looking cards over for grading. And there are some people who are timid even towards doing it because, they miss stuff and they start seeing eights coming back. It gets frustrating. Oh, I went on there, John, to look at that stuff, and the guy you were telling me about, the mod, he wasn't bidding on anything. I caught like two of them, but I could only stay in there for about a half hour. Man, that dude annoys me. I mean, he just flat out annoys me. But if he's taking 50% commission off live auction consignments, that's kind of crazy. Now I got it. He has to do the shipping and packaging onto it. So that, I would be the type of person to be like, hey, I'll sell your stuff, 10% commission, but also I'm taking out all shipping charges, type deal. But 50 is just ridiculous. Yeah, no, I think I told everybody on here, Jabs is from my hometown. Okay. I didn't go to high school with him. Nobody I know went to high school with him. He grew up in a different area and moved out there, and like nobody heard of him at all. And I was always asking around. I was going to do this video clip of me yelling at the golf course out there for him and stuff, but I just thought it would come across too funny. But I don't know about that guy. That's all I got to say. There was I did meet one person who knew of him. I guess he went to eat where she was waitressing at, moonlighting in a way, and something about, trying to think how she worded this to me. It was something to do with YouTube, but anyhow, long story short, I guess he was like a teacher out in Pittsburgh, Still Valley or Still City, something like that. And somebody was getting all his kids to come on while he was live to push his streams up and stuff. I don't know. But like I said, I just no with him. Oh, the buyers are paying for shipping too. Wow. No, not really. They're just talking about jabs. I don't get that either on them. Huh. I wonder what product that was. Because I think only one product didn't have the Topps logo onto it, and I think it was tier 1. If I recall right, because tier 1 or 5-star, one of those there, I think it dealt with them getting the printing of the Topps onto it or something. I know there was a product that came out like that because it came straight from my distributor. Like they got it straight from Topps and they came to me, and I thought it was fishy. I can't remember if it was 5-star or tier 1 though. One of the two did come like that, and there was an explanation given onto it. There's something to do with their film and their logo. They couldn't get in, so it was just regular shrink wrapped it wherever they get their stuff packaged up. Oh, is he still a teacher till today, this day? Wow. Huh, that is insane. He had YouTube remove the video on him, huh? Huh. I can't believe they really removed it. Well, you could buy these things to repackage stuff, shrink wrapped. I think Kabooms and Downtowns are way overproduced because they stuck them in retail. That's why I don't chase them anymore. Color Blast, the only like for Color Blast, the only thing I'll go after is Obsidian because it's not a retail product, it's hobby only. But as far as animal prints and stuff like that, I don't know much on it. If you're talking about that zoo things, I'm lost. Now, what I think is kind of cool, there's some product out there that come out and like they did like I know I had the card. I showed one of the videos, but it was like a piece of the mane from like Secretariat and stuff. I think is cool. I think the fossil cards are great, or like the presidential lapel buttons and stuff. I think that's cool stuff. That's just me though. I don't know how many other people would dig stuff like that, but just like that little piece of history into a cardboard card, I think is kind of cool. Uh, huh. He probably did. Most people out there do. I first time I had somebody talking about it, I was like, how do you buy subs? And I Googled it. This is no joke. You could buy subs. I didn't know that. At first I kept finding them for they were like Twitter followings and Instagram things and stuff. I couldn't find YouTube. Then finally I did. I like that's insane. Now I can tell you, like, if you guys know who Pac-Man is, his stuff's all organic. It's just crazy the amount he has, but he's been doing it forever too. I sub the jabs just for giveaways. Yeah, I mean, there's cool stuff out there like that I don't mind getting. It's different. You don't always see it. Last weekend, my buddy bought it. He found it though, the presidential button out there from election year. It was in a Allen and Ginter card, hand numbered out 25. And I told him, I said, the guy wanted like $80 for it. I said, I'll go offer him 70 at the end of the show if you don't want it, but you found it first. I want him to, at least try for it. He ended up getting it. But stuff like that there that Allen and Ginter does is really cool if you can get some of that stuff. The only video I ever really watched of Jazz was that 79 Tops box where he like threw BBCE under the bus, and basically because of his viewers, he ended up getting that free box from him and stuff. That there was funny, but the funny part was back in the day, it was done by these sheet cuts, your boxes, so you knew how your runs went to. Everybody knew it was collecting from back then. So when he came out there with all that, it's like, we know you got a bad sheet run. That's why. Oh, I don't know. I don't watch his videos anymore. So if he's constantly pulling big cards, hey, he might have the luck. I don't know. The big breakers can't, because they're going through like GTS and Peach or Southern. It's not coming directly from Panini or Tops. So whenever you go, like, okay, so say like I go through GTS, they got like 5 distribution hubs. You randomly get a distribution hub, and sometimes my stuff might come out of Michigan or St. Louis because I'm like in the middle of both of them. But to know which case has the big hits in to come out to you just all the time kind of hard. A lot of times it's just luck of the draw. Now, if it was actually shipped from like Panini to him, I could see that or something. He could have. It's all with that analytics. I mean, it all goes down to keywords, phrases. Like I used to push my stuff out on Reddit, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I stopped. It was just a headache. You just always have to sit there and post your Facebook, all that stuff out there. You have to use all the key hashtags out there, do all the research. It was painful. But I mean, if you're a smart person to do all that stuff, you probably could get your video pushed up to where, a lot of times like YouTube pushes your video out. So like in a sports card thing, like some of my original scam videos got pushed out because of the crazy views they got from like Facebook and stuff, and YouTube started pushing out. It's possible that way. But with his stuff, I think it's a complete different situation too. Oh, I never seen the moldy one at all. Now, like where they're saying that like Panini gave them boxes and stuff, I maybe possibly, but if you're getting it straight from the distribution company, it'd be hard. I mean, that means then like say GTS, Peach, or Southern have to know that inside that box is this, or like David Adams or Peach, or no, I'm sorry, Leighton or Blowout. It's a special mark box. Make sure you give this to one of your breakers. I mean, if it would caught, it'd be one of the biggest scams of the year, but it'd be kind of crazy. Oh man, gum right through all the packs of 72. Wow. Did you got that football thing? It just came out here recently. It's today, I think, or yesterday on Sports Card Scammer Tracker thing on Facebook, where the guy took pictures of all like these 80, like 88, 89 tops packs in football. And you look at them, you can barely see anything. But if you look real closely, you see the black mold a little bit onto some of the packs. And this guy got a box in reeking of black mold. And he opened one up just to show it eating through the cards. And the guy that was a seller was like trying to defend it and everything. It's just insane. Huh. That seems kind of fishy. I mean, how do analytics off of one video bring down all your others? I don't get that. But then again, I'm not an analytics major. Maybe it's true, but it just seems funny to me. It seems like if you're deleting your auction videos, you're trying to hide something to me. But that would be what I'm thinking. But maybe with the analytics, maybe he's right. That small percent chance. I don't know. I played around with that stuff for years. I could never get it right. And see, that's what I was just, yeah, you just typed in the chat what I was thinking too. But yeah, definitely not fan jabs. Well, he does get the credit of bringing people back into the hobby and stuff. There's a lot of stuff he does I just don't agree with. That what's that thing where you buy Patreon or something like that? TJ, there's very few people's repacks I would buy into. And it's just because when they do it, they're just unloading inventory and they're cutting a deal onto it. And those are their like very private Facebook breakers that'll do like 20 packs or something like that. I would get into those because even if I get a dead pack on it, I know what the bottom line is onto it. And I'm not going to pull like a PSA 9 Optic Zion rookie and a PSA 10 Prism RJ Barrett rookie as my two hits. Oh, yeah, Taxman come get you. Oh, stimulus checks. Where did I see that at? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I ain't seen it about that. I know some of the states are doing them, giving some like they call it gas relief and stuff like that, but I haven't seen anything on stimulus checks. If they're going to push those out again, oh dear goodness. Ah, that's it. The Man from Toronto. Yep, that's it. Man from Toronto. That movie there is funny. If you guys want something good to watch, you got Netflix. Watch The Man from Toronto. That stuff was funny. Wait a minute. Who did Penny from the Big Bang Theory play? Was she the old Deborah? If economy keeps going south, the government sends out stimulus. Do you see a spike in the market, or will people actually? Oh, I don't know. If they would send them out again, it would depend on how much the people are getting. I think for like the people that are well enough off that just are under that minimum cap, they'll probably buy sports cards with it, but I don't think it'll do anything crazy. I think now if we saw like three or four of them in a case of a year, we might see a small spike, but nothing crazy again. Yeah, there's no, I like I said, there's not many people that'll give a whole checklist out. That's the one thing I always look for is a checklist and how many packs were made. Hey, Bull's still gonna make it one day. I don't have any of his. I got rid of them all. Huh. I don't remember. Oh, you know what? I think I did see her and it's towards the end. And I just didn't recognize it was her, but now you say it, I think I know who that is. Yep. I'll have to go back and look now you said that. Oh, I think a lot of it dealt with Gary Vee and his followers too. I'm not gonna lie. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut it here tonight. Been about an hour and a half. I don't want to do the first one back real long tonight. Well, I'll start bringing these back about two a month. As long as I'm not set up at a card show that Saturday will come on. And I'll just let you guys usually know, like in a Wednesday, Thursday video type deal, that in part of a video that I'm going to come live. But I do appreciate here. But yeah, I'm gonna, now you got me wanting to go Google stimulus checks to see what the heck's going on with that. See what you did? Now I'll be Googling all night, grunt dad. Jeez, oh man. But all right, that guys, I'm out for tonight. I'm gonna get some stuff done here and call it an early night. Guys, take care out there. If you guys need me, you guys know email, Facebook, or if I don't get you on Instagram, just keep plugging me because sometimes I don't get the alerts. All right, guys, I'm out. I'll catch you guys next live. Next Friday. This Friday coming up, I'll be